Alright, so I'm going to walk you through the settings that I have on the Oled E6 65 inch. Get this thing to focus. I'm probably going to have to take my center channel down, unfortunately. Okay. Now the settings for each individual model vary, so I'll make a video for each one, but this is the LG E6 OLED 65 inch. Doesn't matter if it's the 55 or the 65, they're the exact same settings. So let me go in here. So for a vivid setting, the one that I calibrated it to, if you like a really vivid picture, the best way to get your vivid picture is to actually select the setting on the TV that says vivid, because this TV does really well at presenting a vivid picture just with its own vivid setting. But there are some things that you should change. You want to use vivid, and then the user settings, I changed your picture options. These are my settings for vivid. Now these are the most simple setting. Now the clear motion absolutely has to be on clear, and there's a reason for that, and I'm going to make a whole nother video on what I found that I don't like about this TV. There are some things that I found that just aren't there yet. It's a great TV, it looks great, but there are some things that I found that they suck. So now for the more complex setting, this setting is going to give you more of a natural color. It's going to be, you know, like kind of the color that it would look like if it was really in front of you. So it's not more of an impressive setting, it's more of like a true calibration. It's a pretty lengthy setting, so you're going to go up to picture mode. You're going to change it to expert dark room. Go back. Okay, so your expert dark room, this is everything that you'll see right here. Obviously energy saving is off, eye control mode off, don't need to worry about these, don't need to worry about those. Hopefully you can see this. So for the expert, you're going to want to try not to move too fast here. You might have to rewind if I move too fast. H sharpness 0, V sharpness 0. Go into your expert controls. Your color should be 50. Dynamic contrast off, super resolution off, color gamut normal, edge enhancer off, color filter off. Gamma, you want to change that to 2.2. I don't think it's defaulted to 2.2. White balance is a whole nother story. It has a 2 and a 20 point white balance, so it's kind of a lengthy process, but I will walk you through it. And I'll probably have to start my camera over before it auto shuts off. But for the color settings, I'm going to start from the top. So you want to go to red. Your red color setting, your saturation should be 8, your tint should be 21, your luminance should be -1. Green. Your saturation should be 10, your tint should be 10, your luminance should be 0. Blue should be saturation of 10. Your tint should be 20, your luminance should be 0. Shoot, went too far. For cayenne, your saturation should be 0, your tint should be 1, your luminance should be 1. Did it again. Always get calls when I'm trying to do something. Magenta, saturation should be 5, tint should be 3, luminance should be 0. Yellow, saturation should be 0, tint should be -1, luminance should be 1. Okay, so now for the more complicated white balance, I'll walk you through the first 2 point. You want to make sure your color temperature is warm. 2. These are for the 20 point calibration. Let's go back to the 2. 2's a little easier to explain. Okay, so this is what your 2 point should look like. Method 2 point, pattern outer, high, red 5, green 0, blue -3. So now to change these, you want to change your high point and your low point. So your low point is, this is for the outer still, low point is 3 red, green, -11, blue, 0. Now we'll change this to the inner. Okay, the inner for the low point is 3, green is -11, blue is 0. Now for the outer low, your red is going to be 3, your green is going to be -11, and your blue is going to be 0. Your high is going to be 5 red, 0 green, -3 blue. Now that's for the 2 point white balance. Now before I move into the 20 point white balance, I should express to you that this is going to look different on every TV. The device that I use to calibrate the TV, that's what I landed on with my TV. Now, if you would like to try the 20 point white balance with my settings, that's fine, but you may have mixed results compared to what I came up with. But I'll go ahead and walk you through that now. Alright, for the 20 point white balance, I'd restart the camera because this is a very lengthy process. And like I said, you're going to get varied results between panel to panel. Just to make sure everybody that's still watching or just started watching, this is the E6 65-inch OLED for 2016. Okay, for the 20 point white balance, it goes from 5 to 100. I'm going to start at 5. So your IRE, you need to bring that all the way down to 5 to be on the same page that I'm on, because that's how it works. Alright, for your IRE 5, you need to have a red 0, green -5, a 0 for blue. Your target luminance is already grayed out because we're adjusting it on the outer anyhow. So your IRE for 10. Target luminance is 0.8. It's always going to be grayed out. You're not going to be able to adjust this. You're adjusting luminance 0, red 1, green -6, blue 0. Move up to 15. Adjusting luminance 0, red 0, green 0. Move up to 20. Adjusting luminance 0, red -1, green -8, blue 0. Move up to 25. Try not to go too fast. This is IRE 25. Adjusting luminance is 0, red is 0, green is -9, blue 0. Move up to 30. For 30, adjusting luminance is 0, red 0, green, minus 10, blue, 0. 35, 0, adjusting luminance, red, 1, green, minus 10, blue, 0. IRE 40, adjusting luminance, 0, red, 2, green, minus 10, blue, 0. You'll start to see a pattern here, what I'm doing with the greens. I noticed a high green hue in the natural setting that it already came from with the factory, and that needed to be toned down to make it look more natural, or otherwise it just looked fake. Adjusting luminance 0, this is for IRE 45. Adjusting luminance 0, red 1, green minus 10, blue 0. We'll go up to 50. IRE 50, adjusting luminance 0, red 0, green minus 10, blue 0. The green was only dominant between mid-levels. Once I started to get towards your higher peak, it wasn't such an issue. 55, adjusting luminance 0, red minus 2, green minus 10, blue minus 3. Move up to 60. Adjusting luminance is 0, red is minus 4, green is minus 10, blue is minus 6. Now like I said, this is going to vary from panel to panel. I've actually put these settings on another OLED that a friend has, and they didn't really look too much different. This is something you're probably not going to notice a huge difference on from panel to panel, but this is just what I got with my exact panel that you're looking at right now. So for IRE 65, you got adjusting level illuminance 0, red minus 5, green minus 10, blue minus 8. IRE 70, adjusting luminance 0, red minus 6, green minus 10, blue minus 10. 75, adjusting luminance is 0, red is minus 8, green is minus 10, blue is minus 10. 80. This can be kind of a process to put in, it's kind of cumbersome. IRE 80 is adjusting luminance 0, red is minus 10, green is minus 10, blue is minus 10. 85. Adjusting luminance is 0, red is minus 10, green is minus 10, blue is minus 10. 90. Again, adjusting luminance is 0, red is minus 10, green is minus 10, blue is minus 10. 95, almost done. 95, it's your peak. Adjusting luminance is 0, red is minus 3, green is minus 8, blue is minus 8. 100. IRE 100. Adjusting luminance is 0, red is 5, green is minus 6, blue is minus 6. Now you'll notice there's this section down here that says apply to all inputs. This will not apply all the white balance settings for your 20 point for all settings. I don't know why. So for every input that you have to do this again. So what I have done is I set this up on the input that I use my 4K player for the most. So this is going to give you the most natural color for Blu-rays in a dark room. Now, me particularly, I like to use a vivid setting for certain movies. Like for instance, let me bring out just something real quick. just do a 4K something. I can tell you right now that the 4K looks 100 times better when it's native from the DVD player or the 4K player or whatever you want to call it than it is when you stream it. That's obviously a given, but okay, so we'll look at this real quick. Not even sure what this is. Gotta take these stats off the side here. I was using those for another calibration for audio. Take those off. Okay. So this is the calibration that we just did. You'll notice that everything looks very natural. This is probably what the raw color or the grass or whatever would look like if you were actually there. Now, if you go back, don't be afraid to change your input settings because it's not going to wipe them clean. They're always going to be there unless you actually go down to reset all settings. So don't worry about changing them. I know some people have been nervous before when I'm helping them calibrate their TV. They don't want to change it because they're afraid that they'll go away, and that's not the case. So if you go up to picture mode, go to expert, darkroom. Now this is the setting that we just calibrated for the 20-point, 2-point color and all that. Now this is the vivid. Expert, vivid. Now I don't know if the camera's doing it justice. Let me wait till maybe a better scene to select it. I'll just keep cycling it back and forth and you can see the difference. To me, I like vivid, but for some scenes it just, in anything, not just this in particular, everything looks different. But in vivid, everything kind of looks almost fake. It looks really good, but not natural. It's not going to be a true color calibration. It looks great, it impresses people, but when it really comes down to it, if you're watching a movie and you want a true color, the calibration that we just did is going to give you that true real life color. And it's still going to look great. It's going to look sharp. It's going to look more real. Vivid just insinuates certain colors in certain areas that I don't think is natural. The color perception is also way off. Looks good, but our calibration looks a lot better. And you can even see it in certain shows. What am I looking for here? Netflix. I let my mom use my Netflix. You're welcome, Mom. I'll just find something 4K here that they're streaming. To stream 4K, I will give you a heads up. You're going to need a decently fast internet connection. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to need some kind of business class T1, but you are going to need something that's, you know, at least, I'd say 10. I think they recommend 25 Mbps, but I don't know that to be a fact. I'm actually running a 100 meg connection right now, but that's just because for what I do for a living, I need a pretty fast internet connection. There's got to be something that pops out here. Where'd that jellyfish movie go? I would like to have some kind of regular actually, we'll use Narcos. It's actually a really good show. Just to use it as an example. Okay, so this is... This is what it looks like on the calibrated setting that we just did. For regular, this is 4K streamed Narcos. This is the calibrated setting. This is vivid. That's vivid, calibrated. Vivid, calibrated. Vivid. Actually, let me pause it That way, let me find a good scene to pause it on. That way you can actually get a good idea of what the real difference is. Where you're going to see the biggest difference between those two is where in between light and dark scenes. Light and dark scenes, it's definitely going to be a huge difference. And we all know that OLED really shines in dark scenes. Let's see if I can get a good scene here. In my opinion, the colored and the calibrated setting is just truly represented. And all the other settings that aren't calibrated, it just kind of looks almost fake. But me personally, like I said, I like a vivid picture. But that's just me. Some people like all natural. Some people want it to look as real and true to life as possible. And I completely get that. So there's vivid. There's the calibrated setting. Vivid, calibrated. Which you really can't. You don't really get the difference because the menu's making it darker. Actually, you know what? I even have a better one. Let's go to YouTube again. Let's do a 4K OLED test. Even better yet, right? Stop this. So far, the TV's been phenomenal as far as looks and everything, but like I said, I did find some problems with it that I'd like to make an entire video about, and it might be something you guys want to watch before you buy the TV. OLED. What's better than a test for a 4K OLED TV than a 4K OLED display? Something made just for OLED. Shoot. Sorry, I'm looking for one in particular that I know is on here. Here it is right here. So that's like almost so good looking that I don't even know if the camera can capture that. But this is HDR and 4K. Made specifically for OLEDs. Okay, so that's vivid. This is expert. Vivid. Expert. So uncalibrated. Calibrated. So you'll get the point. Just put in the settings. I think that overall the calibrated setting just looks amazing. But the vivid setting looks amazing also. You're going to get a more true to motion, true to color with the calibrated setting though. Like I said, this is just for the E6, the B6, C6, and I even have settings for the EG9600 and the EF9500 all the way back to the 1080p OLED. So if you guys would like to see those or have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be posting up some videos on the surround sound settings and the surround sound setup that I have. A couple of you have asked a few other questions and sent me emails, so I'll try to get to them as fast as I can, but unfortunately I don't make any money doing this, so I have a real job. I don't have a lot of time to play with it, but I try to do it as much as possible because I enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. That'd be awesome. Thanks for watching.